bit of a bad record against Terran to the left side of the map in the orange. The player for Evil Geniuses. Well, no, it's not the schedule. It is actually
EGJYP.
You know, I gotta say, I'm impressed that he's now at 42% in that matchup, because I remember I was watching like an IM event, you know, maybe 6 months ago or something, and he was literally like just such a losing record at that point. He was like 10% or something.
Well, on the other hand, I have to tell you his reason. Well, let's just talk about the player to the right side. First, in the green color, our Terran, starting for the Prime team.
Ghost King Prime.
Yeah, but coming back to JYP, the recent history against Terran does not look too good. He lost to Moru, he lost to SC, he lost to Ganji with 2-0 just lately, and the last match that he played in the GSL, it was in Code A, where he lost to Jakji with 2-1. The only player that he was able to, the only Terran player that he was able to defeat in the past 2 months in competitive play was actually the Muslim at the MLG Winter Championship.
Oh.
And even though I love Ben and he's a great player, but he's still not he's not back to shape just yet. He's getting a lot better recently, but that's...
Yeah, he's had some great games recently, I gotta say, like in NASL taking out Ryung. That was pretty impressive, as that guy's so good at TVT.
Yeah, but back in March, that's when the game actually happened. Muslim was not on top of his game, not in his best shape, so that's the only win that JYP has. And now he's up against Ghost King, who is pretty good in this matchup. That's actually one of his best matchups. He has, well, we only have a very, very small sample size. He has 42 matches, but he won 57% of them, which makes it his best matchup, historically speaking.
Well, you know, I'm not surprised either, because he was a Protoss player way back in seasons 1 through 3 or 4. He was actually a good Protoss, one of the better Protoss in GSL. In fact, he went so far as to knock Artosis out of a qualifier for the GSL.
That was a huge upset.
It was a huge upset. I actually had like the whole map. They made like 8 DTs and just I had no spores. It was pretty bad. But I mean, when you play one race and then switch to the other,
that is the most horrible moment. When you have a game,
moment.
You have a game, and you know, okay. You get like a little bit cocky and you just stand there and like, okay, what am I going to do now? I can't lose this game. And then suddenly there's this one thing that you can kill you that you did not think of.
This was back before Zergs had spore timings, and like I had like 30 mutas and 4 bases, and I had him on 2 bases, and then 8 DTs walked out and killed 2 of my bases in like a matter of seconds, and I was like, oh. I guess I don't get to play in GSL this season. This is too bad. I was sad. I went home angry.
I believe you.
But I mean, when you switch your race, you're going to know both sides of that matchup pretty well. You know, he played Protoss at a very high level, so I'm not surprised that's his best matchup. So.
For JYP right now, we have basically a standard build. He's 1 gate into expansion and then starts with a Robo. We'll definitely see a few additional gates very, very soon. While Ghost King is relying on a 1-base build, and he's going for Banshees with Cloak.
Well, you know, he actually just scouted that there's a Robo on the way, like a really quick Robo. So, and with the new Observer build time, you know, that when you Chrono Boost an Observer right now, that thing just pops out, man. Yep. It's like, it's almost like Warp Gate Observer, you know, it just comes right out. So, if he continues on the Cloak route, you know, that I'm not sure how much damage he can actually get done with that.
JYP is indeed getting a really fast Robo. I mean, usually you see it a little bit later, after the 2 gates. And at this point, I'm not quite sure if he should just cancel Cloak. That's definitely something that he should consider. He's going for the Robotics Bay. JYP immediately transitioning here. That's a very, very early Robo Bay.
That's... You know what? He's really preparing for what's coming, basically. He's going to have ridiculously quick Colossus, and against this type of 1-1-1, this is going to be a good choice, because Ghost King is actually getting 2 more Raxes, which means he's going to wait for those to kick in to move out, which is going to give him a lot more Marines, but it's going to make it a slower push, which means Colossus will be out. And Colossus is one of the best ways to stop a 1-on-1 that's Marine-based like this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those Colossi are just going to rip the Marines to shreds. The thing is, with this timing, he will probably have range as well. Range should be done by the time that Ghost King is going to attack. The question is, how much damage will the Banshee actually do? The Banshee is in position. We have 1 Observer in the main base. But do we have the anti-air? There they are. There are the Stalkers. Just warped in. But he killed already a fair amount of Harvesters. 6 probes, that's decent.
Yeah, this is actually a really good Cloaked Banshee so far, because when you go Cloaked Banshee, Protoss is going to have to get at least 2 or 3 observers, guard both mineral lines and try to scout their opponent. And at the same time, they need to get a 3rd gas to go Colossus, which we're seeing now. But he's killed 6 probes, which makes mining from that 3rd gas really difficult right now. He can't make as many gateway units to support the Colossus. So far, that Cloaked Banshee has been really worthwhile.
Loses a Stalker here, definitely. That was actually really, really bad. That shouldn't have happened. He did not really pay attention to his Stalker for a second. Was attacking one of the barracks in the high ground. We had a quick scan by Ghost King because he tried to get the Observer as well. I don't think that he actually caught it. So, workers killed in total. You can see it right here. Ghost King with 8 kills takes down the Pylon now. And I have to say, Ghost King is playing this really well. JYP, on the other hand, has the first Colossus already.
Yeah, that first Colossus is out. He's skipping range for now, and I like that for now because, he did lose those probes, and he needs to have enough units with his Colossi to actually do anything. Now, he is a little bit low on everything. Hasn't started a second Colossus. This could be a little bit scary. Oh, God, he is. You're right.
Yeah, he lost one of the pylons. He lost the forward pylon, and therefore he had to rebuild 2 additional ones. And 2, we have actually 3 Banshees at this point. 3 Banshees, 2 tanks, and 23 Marines. Now, this is pretty scary. Still no expansion. He does not transition. He just wants to break him with this 1 base push. And there is the range upgrade.
And in fact, he got supply capped again from the Banshees killing that other pylon. This is actually an issue for JYP. He has so few units compared to Ghost King right now. 74 supply to 85.
I would have actually loved him to be a little bit more flexible here. Supply block again.
Oh man, that's like the 4th supply block.
But when he got for a supply block first, he actually accumulated a lot of resources. I would have liked him to be a little bit more flexible and start with the range upgrade a bit earlier and just delay the second Colossus.
Definitely. And okay, here he's going, but he's got to be so careful here. If he gets targeted down on his Stalkers or his Colossi, he can lose. I mean, I feel like Ghost King can take this, man.
Yeah, I think so too. JYP, I agree with just delaying the push, but really fighting there against the sieged up tanks and without the Colossus range, and now he just might lose them.
Oh man, that Colossus is taking a lot of damage, but a second one just popped out. Range is almost done, and he's sacking the Nexus. I love that choice.
He has to.
He can't hold that right now, so you may as well.
He definitely has to, but this army is so scary for Byun. 56 army supply against 35. Here comes the scan, and now JYP is kind of forced to attack. He loses the Colossus to the Banshees already. This is huge.
And where's the Observer? It looks like he scanned and killed it. Good move here by Ghost King, and JYP is running from these Banshees. The Banshee's going to take him down, and that's basically it, man. There's no way for him to hold now without those Colossi.
He's already at the top of the ramp. The siege tanks are in position, taking those Stalkers apart, and the Marines are moving in, obliterating probe after probe, and now he can target down the production building. The siege tanks, they siege up, and there is the GG as JYP loses game number 1, and Byun takes his first win in the up and downs.
Wow, JYP not doing so well, man. 2 losses already. I really thought this guy was going to get through this group pretty easily, but it's going to be hard for him from here on out. He's going to really need for Ghost King and Nestea to mess up a little bit.
Oh yeah, he does. We have Nestea with 1 win, Lure and Byun also with 1-0. July lost his game, and obviously JYP now down 2 maps. Really, really bad position in this group for him.
Well, JYP knows that he's in trouble now. You can see it on his face, throwing those earphones down. Ghost King, on the other hand, very happy with himself, and he should be. You know what? He actually played that really, really well.
Look at that. He's really, really
Feel
nervous.
my heartbeat. Pitter-patter, pitter-patter. But you know what? I really liked his play. All right, he went for Cloak. Even though he saw that, he realized, okay, you know what? If I can kill a decent number of probes, it's going to screw up his gas. JYP went for a really good tech route, but he didn't guard against a Banshee well enough, and he got supply capped like 9 times. It was Byun just played a really good game, whereas JYP was just a little bit off.
JYP relied too much on these offensive pylons. Every single time the pylon died, he was supply blocked, supply blocked, supply blocked. He couldn't get the second Colossus. He delayed his range a little bit, and as you said, those Banshees just did way too much damage to him.
Yeah, and you were right on that one part where he started to engage without range.
Yeah.
That was a mess up. He should have thrown the force fields down and run back and waited for that second Colossus.
Delayed and moved back, but
Yeah.
he was attacking right into the siege tanks. They were already sieged up. He didn't have Colossus range. I think he got one shot off at the Marines, but lost nearly all his shields on the Colossus.
It was pretty rough, and then of course losing to scans, the observers was the nail in the coffin. So, I mean, JYP, it's going to be really hard for him to get into Code S from here. Don't forget, guys, these guys will be in Code A if they do lose, even if he goes 0-4.
He kind of has to win every single game right now.
Yeah, he has to, for sure, I would say, unless there's some insane big tie, you know, like some crazy tiebreakers where you and I don't get to go home tonight.
I'm actually keeping track right now.
Yes, I see that. I'm going to let you do that because I tell you, when I used to have to cast up and down all the time, I would never know what was going on. I'm like, I think this guy's like, what's his record again, you know?
Yeah, the horrible part is in the end when you have to keep track of who won against whom, and you have to think like, okay, well, he's actually ahead because he won against this player and the other one lost, and they're like, And that's pretty hard actually to keep in mind when you're casting and sitting in front of the camera. But guys, we're having a 5-minute break, and then we'll be back with the next game here at the GSL Up and Downs with our hostess and Caldo.